Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two Kentucky blended whiskeys. One is called Sunny Brook. I've been doing the Taste Challenge series with Sunny Brook. There's your government, United States government alcohol inspector. They do not wear the uniform anymore, although I wish they did. It's probably a lot better looking uniform than what they wear now, which is probably blue jeans, a polo shirt, and it will say US BATF, something like that, TT and B. I like the more official uniforms. Anyway, the nice blue jacket and cap. Anyway, that doesn't matter because they're not interested in what I like. Johnny Tactical. I'm hearing about a military coup against the president this weekend. Huh. Hope that doesn't happen. All right. You get a lot of the off the wall websites that can't that would not pan out too well. All right, Sunny Brook, 1891. This is 80-20 blend. The straight whiskeys in here are 4 years old. So 4-year-old straight bourbon and 80% unaged raw grain alcohol, grain neutral spirits. Oh, they may be stored for a minimal amount of time. They have to be stored in oak vessels. It is absolutely uncharred oak. But anyway, your grain neutral spirits be odorless, colorless, unaged, raw, what we would call moonshine. You can take that and make vodka with it by continually distilling it, charcoal filtering, which they do with like platinum 7 times distilled vodka. Or you could let it rest on juniper berries and use various filtration processes and get gin. Or you could take grain neutral spirits, put them in a never before used, a new fresh charred oak barrel, and then you'd get bourbon. If you aged it for at least 2 years, you'd get straight bourbon. All right, anyway, so it's a very versatile product, corn, liquor. Beer hound, not going to happen, right? A lot of these things, you get a lot of these websites, they're very clickbait type thing, and then bombastic, and they try to like do fear mongering, right wing, left wing, it doesn't really matter. Both of them will do those like hyperbolic fear mongering things. Okay, Kentucky Beau was introduced in 1950. It's got this interesting green and gold and white label. Most of the blended whiskeys I notice are drab shades of yellow, but this is green, and it's sort of like an Evan Williams type format, and it's also made by the same people who produce Evan Williams, Heaven Hill, family-owned company. 36 months. Yeah, I knew that was right. It's a 3-year age. So this is younger. This is a 3-year age. The straight whiskeys in here are 3 years old. And the straight bourbon, I suppose is bourbon. It may not be. It's whiskey. Is 4 years old. Now, is Kentucky Beau simply Evan Williams green label that was off in some way, and they blended it in and sold it as Kentucky Beau? I wouldn't be shocked. Evan Williams green label, which they don't even list on their website, mind you. Remember these things. No, you would, if you looked at the Evan Williams website, you'd never know that the green label exists. The sour mash, charcoal filtered green label, straight bourbon whiskey. But if you went to a liquor store in many states, you would know that it exists. It's 3-year age. Could it be blended off into this? If like it came out a little off. It's possible. Very possible, very likely. If you look at the Jack Daniels website, they're the only ones that very quietly acknowledge the Jack Daniels green label, the number 7. And they say it's Jack Daniels that did not get proper heat humidity level and whatnot. They don't throw it out. They just bottle it as the green label and sell it in 5 states, I believe. Could be more. Could that same company also take that bourbon and blend it off? I don't really know if Brown-Forman makes blended whiskeys, though. I don't know of any that they make. Do you? Or could they sell it off to other companies that do blending, Sazerac and Heaven Hill, big ones? I don't see why not. Okay, I always thought Evan Williams was tasty, Ron. I like it. Hi, Ronald. Howsy doody? It's howsy doody time. Okay, so Sunnybrook. My suspicion with Sunnybrook is that it's Jim Beam, 4-year age, conveniently enough, 4-year aged. Oh, that for whatever reason didn't come out right. There are thousands of barrels in these warehouses, so you get some that are off a little bit. And so they just blend it here and they make Sunnybrook. Do they do the same with Julius Kessler? Yeah, it probably is the case. I think Julius Kessler, what, 3-year age, though? I'd have to check my records. I know that the Beam's 8-star is a 2-year age. So that would work perfectly. You got your 3 big blended whiskeys from Beam-Suntory, Jim Beam Company. Sunnybrook, 4 years. Julius Kessler, 3, unless I'm wrong. And I know Beam's 8-star is 2. And there you go. Various ages. When you realize it's not going to come out right, then whew, there you go, making Beam's 8-star. Beam's 8-star is blended at a different ratio, though. Probably to compensate, perhaps, for... oh, never mind. It used to be 75-25. I had an old bottle that says 75-25. But now it's 80-20 like the rest. So never mind. It's 80-20 now. 80% grain spirits, 20% straight bourbon, which is probably Jim Beam. You said Kessler, yum. Yeah, Kessler. I can get Kessler in the city. Don't know about around here. I haven't seen it. Carstairs we get over there in the next town, Reserve. They seem to do pretty well, Carstairs. I have had enough Carstairs. That 375 was enough for me. Did I hate Carstairs? No, I didn't hate it. But it wasn't good enough that you'd be running out to go get it. You know, oh, I just got to get some more Carstairs. White Seal. The man who cares buys Carstairs. If you cared, you wouldn't be buying. Well, if you care about price only, you might. See, that's what they're leaving that ambiguous. You know, the man who cares about what? Price. Being cheap. Curtis get so champagne. 91 proof Wild Turkey Forgiven whiskey is the way to go. I've not heard that one. I've heard of Wild Turkey 81, the bourbon, and the 101, of course, the famous one. Ronnie, do you like rum? Yes. Beer Hound. I have done many rum reviews, videos, maybe over 100. My favorite so far, I guess that would be the Bacardi Reserva Diaz. No, Reserva Ocho. Ocho, the 8-year. Seems better than the 10-year. I don't know why. But they're both great. Great. Of course, the 10-year is going to cost you 40 bucks. And the 8-year is going to cost you about 30 bucks. So 40 and 30. I got them really cheap, but I'm in love with rum. I like rum more than whiskey. But, you know, people want to see whiskey. So, but there you go. I'm not against drinking whiskey. I just don't love it. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Other whiskey. Okay, I got to put a little more. I got to put a little more Sunnybrook in here. You say, oh, you're just trying to drink more. You're trying to drink more. Wrong-o again. I want it to be even. Because if it's not even, what happens is you'll feel the difference in the weight. Just that little bitty difference could throw off the challenge. And I want it to be a blind taste test. A little too much in these, but oh well, we'll be okay, I hope. Last night, they're the same shade. You know, they're the same color. They're just like chestnut color. We were doing Fandango Friday last night. We had a lot of fun. We had some people we hadn't seen for years, literally, like Scott White. Hadn't seen him for years. And then I guess he was talking to Dr. Dave, and he invited him because they're both in the same state. So then he was on. That was very interesting. And then Dr. Dave was on. And then I told James, I said, I was talking about being absent-minded. And what did I do? I forgot to let you close out with the music and the bosun whistle. I said to him, I said, next time you got to interrupt and remind me. Don't feel shy. Just say, hey, 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 music. And I won't mind. Especially when I said to them I had only had 5 hours of sleep the night before because of the Knights of Columbus meeting going late. So some people are like too polite. You know, they won't interrupt when they should. And I told him to do that. Now, some people are not polite and they interrupt constantly. We have some people that join our Hangouts that don't know when to shut up. So I have to regulate them, like blocking their audio, muting them. Not to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude. But you got to regulate these things or you'll have 90% one person talking and everybody else standing around and not being able to get a word in. We don't play that game over here. I just don't do it. You got to follow the format where you just basically are sidelined. And I think that's reasonable. I've always done that. Give everybody a chance to talk, be nice, pleasant. And even in the past, we've recommended that some people do a solo show. If it's going to be a monologue, just do the solo show. We'll watch, maybe we won't. If it's interesting, you know, it makes sense. Okay. See, I'm doing a solo show right now, so I'm not going to interrupt because I'm the only one talking. I'm in love with rum. Oh, really nice. Rum is the best alcohol I've ever tasted. Cheers, Ron, says Ronnie. Yes. I like rum more than brandy. I like rum more than whiskey. I like rum more than gin because I don't really even like gin. I've drank a number of gins, but it doesn't sit well with me. My daughter is into gin, you know, that's her thing. That's her hobby. Vodka, I could live without that. I don't hate it, but it's like nothing to me. It's like drinking nothing. Sorry. And I know they must have great vodkas, and some people are really into it, and I'm not against it. I'm just not interested in it. Tequila, I don't know. I've never tried tequila. That's the truth, except in those pre-packaged cocktail things, but I've never tried tequila. I have an idea what it tastes like, but I'm not interested. I had a great talk with Scott last night, says Ronnie. Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good. He was a really nice guy. He used to talk to us in 2012 and 13. This is true. We used to do private hangouts in 2012. Like we didn't know you could broadcast them. We would just do hangouts. He was with us. Then in 2013, yes. And in 2014, things happened and he kind of dropped off. Then he was doing a lot of beer reviews and then that faded away for some reason. And I asked him last night, you going to keep doing them? He didn't know. But I didn't ever think I'd see him again. I just honestly did not. Ronnie is very intelligent about things, and he's like me. He likes people to shoot straight. You know, don't be a pig that doesn't fly right. Shoot straight or get off the, you know, get lost. And I agree with that. And like he asked some people in a hangout, I need to know, do you want me to be part of this or not? Just tell me. You know, I'm not here to play games. And I'm the same way. If you want to be a weasel, you need to roll out, you know. And that's why I do Super Inclusive Saturday. That's the whole reason for Super Inclusive Saturday. So everybody can be invited and not have that little smarmy internet type of thing that people do. You know, their knitting circle, the knitting circle where they got their little cliques and they're all 13 years old. You know, we don't. So the Super Inclusive Saturday is a whole different view, a whole different paradigm in a way. But I'm just like Ronnie. I was like, either man up or, you know, ship out. We don't play these games. All right. But listen, Sambuca is nice. Oh, yeah. He's very smart, but Dave got annoyed, I think. Who do you get annoyed with? I hope Scott sticks around. He said he's doing more important things than beer reviews. Yes. There's many more important things than beer reviews, although some people in this world actually think that's important. Like this is like their life revolves around it. Oh, I'm achieving these great things. You're not achieving anything. I have my beer group on the internet. You can be part of it. Maybe if I decide you're worthy. Would you really want to hang out with someone like that? People like this exist. This is very sad. And if you really kowtow to me, I'll let you be an administrator. Oh, wow. I'm excited now. Internet cowboys. Yeah, that's what they are. Drunken one is a cool guy, but the others like to play games. People play games, friend. People play games, friend. No, who was Dave getting irritated with? I didn't. That must have been after I got off. I didn't notice anybody getting irritated or annoyed with anybody else. Okay, getting back to this. Do they smell alike? No. This one has sort of a musty, pungent, and look, this makes sense, like a corn bread, but it's not bread, but like a corn product smell. Not popcorn, but maybe, maybe, you know, the kernels, the popcorn kernels. And of course, with no salt. So you got to factor out salt. Can you imagine how bad that would be? Saltless popcorn. But this has it. Now, another interesting fact. Another fun fact. This one smells like charred oak. You say, nah, you're crazy. I'm not crazy, so much crazy, but yeah, you get the barrel. I know only 20% of the product was aged in an oak barrel, but it was maybe 4 years. So, very interesting. This one is remarkably similar, but a little cleaner, perhaps. A little cleaner. Like a little cleaner in the sense that maybe it doesn't have as much pungent aroma. Now, do either one of these smell bad? No, they don't. Now, if we could stop there, we'd be in great shape. They look nice, I'm sure by virtue of caramel color added. They smell very nice. They look nice in the glass. If we could stop there, we'd be in primo condition. Unfortunately, it's a taste challenge, and that's where things will start to break down very rapidly. Dr. Dave agreed with us, but he didn't like about us saying the Pledge of Allegiance was nonsense. Oh, I'm not against the Pledge of Allegiance in concept. I just don't like the one that's written, but that's another story. You know, I don't like the way it was written by, you know, look at the background of who wrote it and all that. So that's where I take issue. The idea of a pledge, I wouldn't take issue with that. I would endorse it. You should be loyal to your country. But anyway, I wouldn't get irritated if people said no. I'll just tell them that I disagreed. No, Dave stuck around after you left. I could tell he was getting uncomfortable. The stuff me and Scott were talking about was highly controversial about popular opinion. Oh, yeah. Damn it, you made me laugh and it woke up mama. Sorry. Woke up mama. Controversial topics can inflame many people. I mean, I'll get inflamed, but I don't ever get angry, you see. I notice a lot of these social media people, they'll put fiery subjects. They'll make a post, very inflammatory. Doesn't make any difference to me. But then you better not disagree with them. Then they flip out, fly off the handle. Well, like I've always said, if you can't take heat, why do you start fires? You know, they want verification. You know, they want validation. They don't really want to discuss the topic at hand. They just want people to say, I agree, right on, brother. But they may not have the intelligence or the background or the education to even back up what they're saying or what they think they're saying or what some video is saying. So if you're simple-minded, you'll speak in a simple-minded manner. You'll make simple-minded statements. You can't, there's no erudition. You can't defend your point because you probably almost as surely don't even understand the point that you're posting about. only in a very thin, ephemeral way. But anyway, well, you know, we run across this every day. What can we say? Now let's go to the taste challenge. Took too big of a gulp. Sorry about that. It's not a beer taste challenge. Well, that's okay because there is some wood though, honestly, and some char and nut shell, like a walnut shell, all these things. Dried fruitcake, fruit, nectar, all the vanilla, all the concomitant whiskey flavors. All right, you get that. What like bourbon. What we're talking about is like bourbon, but it's always a faded down thing, because remember it's 80% grain spirit, so it's everything you want in bourbon, but it's faded out, it's washed out, mellowed out, which would appeal to some people. Now look at the daylight here. It would appeal to some people because some people don't like the strong bourbon flavors. Washed out would be good for them. They would say, yeah, well, that's what I want. In that case, then you could get a blended whiskey, and if you're into whiskey, you would enjoy it. And I would recommend Seagram's 7 Crown, most popular blended whiskey in America. Makes sense because it's the best tasting one in my opinion, and most people's opinion. These things here will have strange off flavors and aromas like honeydew melon. Now that's something you don't expect. Or some kind of like funky moldiness or something. They're just, you almost can't describe it. They'll have imperfections. Well, you know what? When you pay $6.49 for a liter, you're gonna start running into these things. Now the Kentucky Beau was $6.49 for a 750. So Sunnybrook was cheaper per ounce. I got a whole liter as opposed to 750. I bought the Sunnybrook at Big Red's Liquor on US Highway 90, business route eastbound in Orange, Texas. Cool place. I bought the Kentucky Beau at Bonita Plaza Liquors on Mississippi Highway 19 northbound, right south of Interstate 59/20, over there in Meridian, Mississippi. I've been to that place twice, and I've bought stuff from there both times. Ancient Age, 10-star, 6-year age. Can't wait to try that one. Straight bourbon. And then I bought the Kentucky Beau. And even the guy, the clerk, said, Kentucky Beau. He said it like that when I brought it up to the counter. Kentucky Beau. I guess a lot of people stumble in. I don't know. They walk in there and buy it, kind of thing. Probably not the best crowd that buying it, but it's probably high volume. So I had to laugh at myself when he said that. Yeah, Interstate 20. North of that is, well, they go back and forth across each other's US Highway 80. That's the old east-west cross-country highway there in Meridian, 80. And the new highway, we say new because it's 50 years old, 60 years old, is Interstate 20. But 80 and 20 both follow the same route, the same exact route. It's just they're numbered differently. So, and they did that on purpose so you wouldn't have 80 and 80 right next to each other. So the United States highways start at the top with the low number 10 cross country, and they go to the bottom with the number 90, be your southernmost east-west U.S. highway. Then the interstates do the opposite: 10 at the bottom, cross country, first cross country, and 90 at the top. So down in Louisiana, you got 90 and 10 running together, US 90 and Interstate 10 running together. And at the top, on the Canadian border, you got 90 and 10, but it's flipped. Interstate 90 and US 10. You can win money listening to me. All right. Go to a bar and get these guys drinking and bring up topics like that. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yes, I do. You want to bet? And you're like, whoa, Sure, let's bet. All right. Because they probably want to fight instead of pay. You know, I know people like that. Like somebody in Alcohol Legs was talking garbage. He was going to lay down some big time craft beer as a bet. But then when it was time to pay, he didn't want to pay. I was like, oh, that's weak. You talking a bunch of garbage, but the man said, where's my beer? Oh, I was just joking. I was like, joking? Wow. And everybody saw you, and you guaranteed. I bet you if you'd have won, you'd have wanted that craft beer, though. That was rich. That was too much. If I lose a bet, I'm paying, you know. But golly. Anyway, this one here is bland. The other one over there's got more flavor. Now, is either one of these great and something to run after? I wouldn't go that far. They're more like something you could tolerate. They're tolerable. They're tolerable. They're not terrible. But if you say, well, I drank Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. That's my jam. What is this like? Well, of course, you'd probably be appalled. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, they're okay. This one has like that more nutty character, which is making me think it's Sunny Brook. Now, which one tastes better? You almost hate to use terms like that, tastes better. You might feel more comfortable saying something like, which of these is less offensive? Now, that might be where you want to go. Would I ever want to drink these on purpose? No. I bought them on purpose just because of the taste challenge adventure, but well, we're going to call it, but let's see the comments. What can you do, I guess? Can't worry about it. Oh, I didn't read what he was talking about. No bake. Okay, well, whoa. Okay, we got to get back. All right. I don't think you should need to pledge allegiance. Well, that's your opinion. Damn it, if you made me laugh. Oh, woke up out. Scott's very smart. He reminds me of me, right? If you can do it, it's not bragging. No bacon, no cheese, all sandwiches matter. That's true. Sunnybrook sounds like an old folks home, right? So a few of the guys tried to pin me down on their silly right versus left nonsense. Eventually, they left me standing like a chump. That's why I asked the question on Hangouts. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, people like to get involved and get down to it, but then how can you get down to it if you got nothing to get down to it with? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people want to just say, for instance, talk to me, say, let's talk about World War II. I say, okay, let's do that. But then they can't do it because they don't know much about it. They might know like the ABC version of it. You know what I mean? Like Spoon and June. They did this and then these other guys did that. And then all of these certain things happened. Let me tell you, boy. I'm like, yeah, well, it's a lot more complicated than this third grade Miss Garrett's class telling of the story. And then when you start trying to get into it a little deeper, then they run off or they'll say, yeah, you hate America, man. It's like, no, I don't hate America, but I just happen to know like a whole lot more than you. And it's because of studying, which you could do. But then I know you won't. Okay, what can you do? Good morning, says Anonymous Coward. Night train express for life. Oh, my goodness. I-75 came down to Clearwater. I-95 went to Fort Lauderdale. Right. And I remember when Interstate 75 used to end around Tampa, and then they extended it down to the swamp. And then eventually they went across the swamp, the Everglades, call it the alligator or whatever. I don't know what they call it. And then it's a toll road, and then it goes to Miami. It used to end there, and then they built it. But you could still take the old highway across without paying the toll, 41. I always take 41. You might lose 15 minutes, but you gain a lot more in scenery, I think. It's really interesting riding on 41. Takes you right into downtown Miami. Oh, well, yeah, of course, you're going to get to some stoplights in Miami. But you see a lot of interesting things, like the world's smallest post office. You won't see that on the interstate. Ron equals the realest dude on the internet. It's true. I'm so real that I'm fake. What can we do the Philippine-American War? When can we do it? I was wondering about that. I said, Ronnie must have lost interest in that idea. I don't hate America. Old English, 7.5 is really good, Ronnie. I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. So yes, I'm so real that I'm fake. I'm so sane. I'll say this on the internet. I'm so sane that I'm insane. All right. I think this is the Sunnybrook. Is it way better? It's not any better, honestly. Maybe a touch better. With these two, I'd say price. Just get whatever's cheaper. If you really want to do this to yourself, you have some kind of affliction, addiction, obsession. Oh, why should I say all that? I mean, a hobby. That sounds, we have hobbies. Hobbies. You see, because people have the, what they call that. All right, anyway, so I would say Sunnybrook wins by almost no margin, but I'm going to say this is Sunnybrook. It is Sunnybrook. Don't you play with me. Now, some people are laughing. That's a 50-50 shot. You had a 50-50 shot of getting it right, regardless of what happened. This is true, but I don't like to bring up those technical details. I like to frame it to make it seem like I'm really in on, I'm really into what I'm able to do. That I have great insight into differentiating the whiskeys. So I don't like to bring up technical mathematical details. That will undercut what I'm trying to present. Okay, anyway, Lazy Bon Ton Relay, thanks for watching this Thorn Busters Taste Challenge. And now it's off to the news and the tropical storm and all of that goodness. Ronnie, can you listen to Blood Rock? I could.